Hello, I am your coach Emma and welcome back to my page. It is day 3 of our 5-day beginner kettlebell program, and so far you've learned some awesome skills. We've learned deadlifting, squatting, push-ups, and chest presses, as well as a few other skills in there. Today we are going to take it up another notch. We're going to be revisiting our pulling exercises with deadlifting, doing some hamstring work, and then we are going to learn how to take that kettlebell overhead in an overhead press. In doing these exercises, we're also going to learn a few new ones to help prepare our bodies for the movement patterns of deadlifting and pressing overhead. So I hope you are ready to move. We are going to, again today, need that heavy kettlebell for deadlifts, a lighter kettlebell for overhead pressing, and then if you have it, a foam roller for hamstring curls. But if you don't worry, I can show you how to do it with just your own body weight. So we are going to start with our total body mobilization. You're getting used to this by now. Palms face up, small circles going backwards. Really feel the front of the body getting pulled open and stretched. About 10 circles, getting bigger with each one. Now palms face down and small circles forward. Make them a little bit bigger each time. Bigger and bigger. Now interlace your hands behind your back, press your chest forward and raise those arms up and down. Now yesterday's workout was around 45 minutes. I think today's will take about the same, but again, you're watching this on YouTube where there's a timer at the bottom of the screen, so you know exactly how long it ends up taking. A lot of how long these workouts take, and now we're going to fold over those legs, depends on your level of activity and how quickly you're able to move and kind of what you were able to do coming into this program. So it might take you a little bit longer if you find you need to pause and rest between exercises more than I'm giving you. Or you might be fast forwarding through me talking because you don't care and you don't need it, which I can understand, and it's going a little faster. Now we're going to take that wide leg squat stance with our feet pointing away from us really wide, drop down into this nice deep squat, rocking back and forth. Observe, how does this feel compared to other days? Put your hand down, twist and open your chest. Inhale and exhale here. Go to the other side. Open the chest. 2 more times to each side. 1 more here. And now we're going to work our way to a seated position, feet out in front, and we're going to take our shin box. Remember, hips and feet do not move in the position they're in. We shift around in them, but they do not move the spots. The spot they're in doesn't move. Words, Emma. We're going to go about 3 times to each side. And if your legs and butt are sore from the workouts we did so far, you're going to feel this. So I suggest doing it on a nice soft floor. Now you're going to come up into hip extension, squeezing this butt cheek to push your hips forward, stretching the front of this hip. I'm going to go 3 times to each side. So this is 2 and then 1. Great. Now we are going to make our way onto our back for our glute bridging exercises. So we're going to start with the one you've learned to know well. We're going to do both feet on the floor glute bridging. We're going to do 15 reps here. You're going to start by reaching your arms up. We're going to make it a little spicier today. Take a big exhale. Send the lower back into the ground. Brace the core. Lift your hips up and down. 15 of these. You can press into your whole foot or you can lift your toes up and press into the heel. You want to make sure your heels are not too close to your butt or else it's going to be uncomfortable on the kneecap. We want this to be not painful. So keep squeezing the core and bringing those hips all the way up. We're going to 15. 5 more. When your arms aren't down, it's a little harder to balance. Good. And now we're going to go single leg, but instead of figure 4ing the legs, we're going to reach that leg up in the air and try to track our knees in line with each other. 10 times here. Good. 2 more. and switch sides. One more. Awesome. Now we're going to flip over onto all fours, and we're going to take what's called a beast hold position. So my hands are pretty much underneath my shoulders and my knees are underneath my hips. I tuck my toes, and for 30 seconds, we're going to hold here. So ready, set, go. Knees come just an inch off the floor. Back stays long and flat. I'm pressing my hands into the ground, pressing my toes into the floor, pulling the belly button in to keep the back long. Try to avoid having this happen, and try to avoid having the knees come way up. Good, you're halfway there. 15 more seconds. And breathe. You got this. We got this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Great work. We're only going to do that once today. The beast hold really seals the deal. It's a very quick way of activating the core. If you feel like didn't really feel it, maybe pause it and do another round. But otherwise, we are going to go into what I call our movement prep or joint health area of the exercise. More beginner workouts don't get into this as much, but on day 3, I think it's the perfect time to introduce it. What we're going to do is get some light weights, so you can really get your one light kettlebell for this. And we're going to practice a hip hinge with a kettlebell good morning and bringing weight overhead with an overhead hold to prepare us for our deadlifts and overhead pressing later on. So you can grab that lighter weight kettlebell, and we are going to start with a kettlebell good morning. To get into that, you're going to take your hands, face them away from you, grab your bell like this, and flip it up. So you see here, it's bottoms up. There's more than one way of getting into it, but this is the safest. Then you're going to halo that kettlebell behind your head, squeeze your shoulder blades together, and pull on the bell. All right, so you see here, it's resting on my back, not on my neck, and not on the top of my spine that's sticking out. It's really down there on the back. Pull the kettlebell apart, keep my ribs going down, and now I'm gonna hinge just like a deadlift. Inhale as I go down, exhale as I come up. So get your kettlebell into place and come along for 10 reps with me here. Send those hips way back, torso's coming parallel to the floor as you move. You see it's a very shallow knee bend. The hips are really the primary mover. Then when you're done, you're going to halo it back around and do a little reverse swing. We haven't learned the swing yet, but that's what you're going to do. Now we're going to do an overhead hold, which is where we get the kettlebell overhead and keep it there for 15 to 30 seconds. I'm going to do 30 seconds, but feel free to take it down sooner if that's too long. We practice the goblet clean. We don't do a single arm clean this week, but we will need to get the kettlebell up. So you're going to grab it on the side it wants to be on and get your other hand on top of it. Hinge down, and then the same way we kind of goblet cleaned, you're going to flip it up. Now you want to have the wrist straight. We talked about this briefly on Monday or yesterday, keeping that wrist straight when doing the chest press. Same thing now that it's going overhead. So you're going to keep your ribs down. We always keep the ribs down. Press the kettlebell up, and now I'm starting a 30-second timer, so join me. We are going to march in place. You want the arm that's not holding the bell to be out to the side here to keep tension in the non-working side of the body. You're going to pull your arm bone into the socket, so that way the arm feels nice and strong. You're going to keep the elbow straight and keep the wrist straight, knuckles slightly pointing forward. Awesome job. We're almost there. 10 more seconds. If marching in place is too hard, just stand in place. This is still challenging. We've got 4, 3, 2, 1. Now you bring it down. You can use both hands to bring it to the floor, flattening your back in that hinge position when you bring the bell up and down. And now we'll go to the second side. Hand underneath the bell, other hand goes on top, hinge, send those hips back. Use your butt to help bring it up. Kettlebell is here. I'm gonna press it up. Non-working arm comes out to the side, but we wanna lock the arm bone into the socket and march or just hold. I love these exercises. They're one of the best ones you can do for improving your shoulder stability and health. As far as kettlebells are concerned, I actually made a whole video of exercises you can do for that, and I'll link to it up here. I never know what side to point to for what it's gonna be on the computer. I think it's here. And that's gonna show you all these exercises that you can do for your shoulders if you're interested, if that's a weak point for you. You might be able to tell this is my wobbly side. And 2, 1, bring it down. Awesome job. We're gonna repeat that once more. So starting with our kettlebell good morning and then going into our overhead holds. Again, this is prepping us for deadlifting and for overhead pressing. We never wanna go into those movements cold. So hinge, underhand grip on the bell. Flip it up, halo it into place and get it down low, like let it sink down. Pull your arms apart. And now hips as wide as, feet as wide as your hips. And then think of your hips as an actual hinge. You know what a door hinge looks like? When you close the door, the hinge gets closer and closer until the two sides of it touch. That's what your torso and thighs are doing here. 10 reps. Inhale as you reach back. Exhale as you come up. Squeezing those shoulder blades together, keeping the kettlebell from colliding with your head and neck. 3 more. This is a slow one. Keep your toes down, especially as you reach back. 1 more. Good. Halo it back out and hinge as you bring it down. Once again, we're going to go overhead. Put it on the same side it wants to go to. Hinge down, grab it with one hand and the other. Flip it up. Press it, pull the arm bone into the socket, and now we march. And if you can't march, just stand in place. You're gonna see from the side when I'm marching, I'm keeping my ribs down and keeping nice long posture. You don't wanna end up kind of like that. I can't even do it, it's too hard to do it wrong, but try to avoid slumping over or extending the back. You wanna just be nice and straight. Elbow straight too, keep asking, is my elbow straight? 3, 2, 1, pull it down, second side. Even though this is a beginner program, this is kind of some advanced stuff, so y'all are lucky. You're getting a taste of the spicy stuff early. Pull the arm into the socket, other arm comes out to the side and go. And again, remember, you don't have to march if your balance is not good. We're not doing much as far as balance is concerned this week. This is one of the few things, so I understand if you're not here yet. If you're not, just stand and focus on pulling the arm bone into the socket, feeling the engagement right here, and keeping your core on. This is challenging in and of itself. We've got 4, 3, 2, 1. Pull the bell down. Don't let it fall. I say pull, so you come down with control and relax. Now I'm going to need you to grab your heavier kettlebell for deadlifts and a foam roller if you have it for hamstring curls. If you don't have a foam roller, don't worry, we can do a version of that on the floor as well. So what we're going to do is 10 to 15 deadlifts and then 10 hamstring curls for 4 to 5 rounds. We're going to do 4 rounds on camera, and if you want to do a 5th round, pause it and do it on your own. We are going to want to take our heavier kettlebell, and I'm actually going to show you a way of making it a little harder today. So grab that heavy bell, place it in between your feet, and together we're going to start on those 15 reps. So big exhale, ribs to the hips, tailbone to the floor, send the hips back, grab your kettlebell, and start. You're going to do those 15 reps. On round 2, I'm going to show you how to make it spicier. Inhale down, exhale up. Good, 5 more. You got this. 1 more, make it to 15 and relax, bell goes down. Awesome job. Next round, if you want it to be harder, we're gonna do it with just one arm. Both feet down, but just one arm. So now we need our foam roller for the hamstring curls. So you'll do 10. I'll show the foam roller version first, but if you don't have a foam roller, hang in there. I'll show you the floor version as well. What you're going to do is get your your toes and the balls of your feet on your foam roller very close to your butt and come up in a glute bridge. From here, hands go by the side. Keep the front of the body zipped up and straighten your legs the best you can, rolling all the way onto your calves, and then pull it back in. The hips stay up the whole time. I squeeze the core and the glutes, and it might feel like it's getting away from you. That's okay. You can pull it back in and level it out. Go for 10 like that. If you don't, and keep going if you have the foam roller. If you don't, what you're gonna do is come up into your glute bridge, come on your heels, and take little baby steps, walking your heels out till your legs are straight, but your hips are off the floor. And then walk back in and try to keep your hips up and engaged the whole time. Again, 10 of these, whichever version you picked. The version without the foam roller is arguably a little bit harder. So if you need to, you could do 5 to 10 reps. You don't have to do 10, but if you have the foam roller, I suggest going for 10. So finish those up, and I'm gonna show you how to make the deadlift just a little bit spicier. So we have all heard of a single leg deadlift. That's not something we get to in this program. We don't do too much unilateral work here. This is really unilateral being one leg. Most of these exercises are bilateral because it's really beginner. So we're starting with both feet on the ground. That's beginners. That's where beginners start. So what you can do to make this a little harder is hold the bell in one hand. So what you're gonna do is hinge down and grab your kettlebell with just one arm, press both feet into the ground, non-working arm shoots out so there's tension in that side of the body, and then you stand up. Even though only one arm's pulling, both legs are pulling as well. So you wanna feel the weight distribute between both of your legs, both feet, and lift. And you're gonna do 5 to 8 on each side. So you can do the both hand version if that's where you're at, or if you wanna try to up the ante, give this one a try with me. Good. Second side. Hinge down, grab that bell. Non-working arm is either here, fist to the collarbone, or out by my side. You don't want to have it by your side on the slack by the hip. You really want there to be tension there. 5 to 8 here too. Try to keep those shoulders square with each other, shoulders level, hips level. Good. And relax. Great work. We're going back to those hamstring curls, whichever version was right for you. 5 to 10, preferably 10 if you have the foam roller. They're not that hard, but the hamstrings get worked with the deadlifts, so they also get worked with these curls. That's the idea. So you want to start close to you with your toes on the foam roller, extend and pull back in, and try to not let the front of the body relax here. It's going to be safer for your back if you can keep everything tight. And you'll see every few reps, I walk it back in closer because it does get away from you. I have 2 more, not sure where you're at. You probably are close to me. And relax. Good. We're gonna do 2 more rounds of this and then move on to more exercises and different movement patterns. All right, again, 5 to 8, single arm, or 10 to 15 with both arms. If you were to the point where you were using 2 kettlebells all along, then just keep with those 2 kettlebells. But if you really are a beginner, you've probably only been working with 1. So keep that 1 bell and maybe give it a try this round if you didn't try last round. Big exhale, hips back, grab onto the kettlebell. And what I want you to do is lift that bell just a little bit and feel both legs work. I don't want it just to be one side working. And then go. Keep going, hips back. Inhale, down, exhale out, up, and switch sides. All right, second side. You can see I'm playing with my hand placement. Sometimes you've got to figure out what works right for you. Keep those shoulders square. Hips go back. Back stays flat. Good. Another set of our hamstring curls. Now, even though this is a beginner program, you can hear I've been consistently running out of breath as we do it. Now, part of that is I'm talking, but if your weight selection is appropriate for your skills and for your body weight, then these are going to be tiring. We're not taking much rest because the weights are not super heavy. They're appropriate, but they're not super heavy. We're not talking about doing Olympic lifting or powerlifting where you're going for rep maxes and you want to make sure that you have 3 or 4 minutes of rest. No, we're keeping it moving. It makes it cardio. Very cool. Kettlebells are kind of always cardio. Good. 5 to 10 of these and relax. We've got one more round. If you still are not feeling it, I'd recommend upping your weight, upping your reps, upping your sets. Do a 5th round without me. But we are going to here do one more round together. And then you can take a water break. Start with that kettlebell on one side. Big exhale. Hinge down. Corkscrew the working arm into the socket. Seal that armpit up. Other arm has tension. You want to think of both sides of the body as railroad tracks, and the kettlebell is the train. Even though only one side is holding it, it still needs to run on both tracks. Use the power in both sides of your body. And this instantly makes that one weight a little heavier. 2 more to get to 8. Good. Second side. Big exhale, hips back, start strong. Press through both feet. One more to get to 8. Good. Get that bell out of the way. And last set of curls, whichever version is right for you today. Hips come up 10 times, 5 to 10, but really 10. Pull the foam roller in if you need to. Keep those hips up and relax. Awesome job. Look at that. Knocked out 4 rounds of that like it was nothing. All right, you might have noticed by now that today's workout is a little different than some of the other workouts we've done so far. So far, our supersets, our sets of exercises, have either been one exercise or they've gone between an upper body exercise and a lower body exercise. And it's a great technique for beginners because when one body part is moving, the other one is resting, and it allows you to get through a workout with overall less rest than you would if you did, say, a workout that was only upper body, where you might need to rest a little more between exercises. Today's workout starts to tap into that body part specific kind of workout because our first superset of exercises here with strength were the deadlifts and the hamstring curls, which both hit the back of the legs, and specifically the back of the legs. And our next superset of exercises is going to be overhead pressing, which we prepared for with our overhead holds, and push-ups. And both of these are tricep dominant exercises. They both use the tricep, that muscle right here that people always want to work on to eliminate their bingo arms. And then they also both work on the shoulders. So you're kind of getting a taste of what it feels like to do a workout where you focus on one body part or one area of the body at a time. That said, let me show you how to do the overhead pressing. We're gonna do 5 to 10 on each side, and then we're gonna do 5 push-ups, whether they're on the floor or on the elevated surface, as I showed you during the last workout. So without further ado, just like we picked up for our overhead hold, you're gonna grab onto the kettlebell with the side of the body you're gonna hold it on, and then you're gonna take the other hand on top. As you stand up, pull your elbow back and swivel the kettlebell around so you end up with this nice straight wrist. Get your feet right underneath you, ribs down, core on, and just watch for a minute and then you can do it yourself. You're gonna press the kettlebell straight up. It wants to land pretty much right above where it started, but it's gonna have a slight J shape on its way up. See, it's gotta get around the shoulder, and then I pull it down with control. I say pull because you're not just letting it fall. That would be bad. You're pressing it up and you're resisting gravity as it comes down to bring it down with control. And watch one more thing. We don't want to let the ribs flare here. We don't want the lower back to arch and the ribs to come out. We tend to get a lot of this when you can't quite handle the weight. We want to resist that. We want to keep the ribs down. Inhale down, exhale up. All right, so now we can do it together. Clean the bell up. Nice straight wrist. Make sure that wrist is not leaning back. And then 5 to 10 on each side. Good. I just did 5 because I did a bunch to demonstrate. If you're still going, great. If not, second side. Non-working arm is out by the side the way it was in the overhead holds. Good. Bring her down. Now we're going to do our push-ups. Remember, whether you're on a wall, a bench, a chair, a countertop, or the floor, we want to be in a tall plank position and moving with the elbows at a 45-degree angle. So you're going to come into that tall plank position here. Feet as wide as the hip bones. Shoot your weight into your heels regardless of the surface. Elbows come out at a 45-degree angle, 5 reps. Inhale down, exhale up. Fantastic. All right, next set of presses. And while you recover, I'm going to go ahead and grab a yoga block from over here, because if you're having trouble with your push-ups and you feel like they're not the right height, I'm going to show you a trick with the yoga block to make it feel a little more accessible. So we're going to be doing 3 rounds of this on camera. You can do a 4th round off camera if you want. Hinge down, flat back, clean the weight up, 5 to 10 presses. Keeping the ribs down and the core on. The arm is really the only thing moving here. Inhale down, exhale up. Good. Come down, switch sides. Clean the bell up. Keep those ribs down. You got this. 2 more to get to 10. You can see we all have one stronger and one weaker side. My left side is by far my weaker side, and I got very tired by the end. So with the push-up, we're trying to get to about 90 degrees with the elbows and shoulders. However, it's hard to know if you've gotten there. So if you have a yoga block, what you can do is put the yoga block on the highest side and just take some rest by watching right now. You can do it yourself in a minute, or do your push-ups now and then rest and watch after. You're gonna bring your chest to the block, and then you know you've actually achieved something. Oh, I moved and I came back up. Then over time, you can bring that block down here. And then eventually, you can bring the block to its flattest side. Now, if you can't do it with the block on its tallest side, or if you have 2 blocks with them both stacked on their shallow side, if you can't do it with that, I would say take it to an elevated surface, but if you can hit this, give it a try. So do your push-ups right now, and then we will get set up for our final set of overhead pressing. And what I love about pressing and push-ups is it works the tricep, and that seems to be the area women always want to target. And you don't have to do a million tricep extensions sitting there like this. It's not actually great for the elbows or anything. And me just miming that exercise, I can feel all these muscles that go into that have to do with our tricep and toning our arms firing, because they worked so much harder with these exercises than a tricep extension. Much more efficient use of our time. So on that note, let's do our final set of overhead pressing. Clean the bell up, feet together, and go 5 to 10. One more. Good. Second side. Hinge down, clean the bell up. You got this. 4 more to 10. Great work. Last set of push-ups. Try it with the yoga block if you have one, or you can use a book or a pot or a shoebox, anything that's going to give you a point for feedback. It's just feedback. It's like your own personal coach saying, yes, you achieved something. So 5 more push-ups. Good. That one was a little low for me. I don't know if you could hear me smacking it with my stomach. If you feel like you're coming in hot and you could have kept going, block's too high. So on that note, we are going to move on to our finisher. You can put away your yoga block and grab your lightest weight kettlebell you have available. You could even use a dumbbell if your kettlebell you discover is a little heavy. We are going to do 2 core exercises that utilize a kettlebell as a finisher. And if you can't do them with a kettlebell, I'll show you a bodyweight option as well. We're going to be doing a straight leg dead bug while holding a kettlebell and a beast hold while dragging the kettlebell side to side for 30 seconds. And again, if you can't handle the 30 seconds, no worries. You can go on and do do less time, whatever works for you. So the first exercise is the kettlebell dead bug. First, just watch. I'm going to demonstrate them both with the variations, and then you can go ahead and do them. Enjoy this little rest period. You're going to hold the kettlebell with the weighted end towards your feet, grabbing it in between your thumbs and your hands, your palms rather. Arms go straight up, legs go up, and they want to reach nice and straight. Now you're going to shift that weight back just a little bit and press the entire back, the lower back and the upper back into the ground. Now you're going to lower one leg at a time. And we'll do this for 30 seconds. You only want to bring your leg as low as you can and keep your back on the floor. If you discover this version's too hard, you're going to bring the knees down and you're going to keep that leg and ankle at 90 degrees and just tap one leg at a time. And if you can't seem to hold the weight overhead and do it, hold the arms up and tap one leg at a time. All right, that is the dead bug that we're going to do for 30 seconds. Next, you are going to come to the beast hold we did in the beginning. But this time, you're going to drag your kettlebell side to side. When I do this, I want to wedge myself between my opposite-handed foot for stability and minimize the amount of rocking in the body. There'll obviously be some movement, but you want to keep your knees low and minimize the rocking. If you can't do it, which I totally understand, you're going to hold that beast position. You can tap your shoulders, or you can just hold the beast without any extra movement. So with that said, let's get going on our dead bugs. Grab the weight, roll onto your back, press it up, legs straight, and in 3, 2, 1. One leg at a time. Remember, you don't want to let that lower back come off the floor. And by shifting that kettlebell back a little bit, I'm firing up the upper core as well as the lower core. And if this is too hard, bend the knees, one knee at a time, 90-90 heel taps, and you can shift that weight more towards the chest as opposed to the head. We're almost there. 10 more seconds. Do whichever version works for you. Ditch the weight if you need to. Try to get through the full 30 in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pull the weight down. Great job. We're going to just transition onto all fours. We're doing this for 2 rounds here. Ready? In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift the knees just a little bit and drag it side to side. Try to minimize the rocking of the body. This is by far the harder of the 2 exercises. Really wedge yourself between your opposite hand and foot when you go to drag. That's going to be how you stabilize the body. And if you need to, just tap shoulder to shoulder here. We have 10 seconds left. Y'all got this. Really feel the body fighting the urge to rock. And relax. Great job. 1 more round. I find this tiring, so I know y'all find it tiring. We're going to roll onto our backs. Take that kettlebell with us. Shift the weight up. Arms go back a little bit. Legs go up. Lower 1 leg at a time if you can, keeping the whole back on the floor. If the lower back comes up, I want you to take it down to the 90-90 version, okay? We all have a version that works for us. Exercise is not one size fits all. And that's what's the unfortunate part about working from a pre-recorded video, but I do try to give you options here. Good, we're almost there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come down. That one very challenging exercise is left, and then we will stretch it out. All fours. Toes get tucked, knees come up just a little bit. Hold here for a moment if you need it, okay? And then start moving that kettlebell or tapping your shoulders or just hold. I totally get it. This is freaking hard. This is an exercise I regularly do. Just because it's something a beginner does doesn't mean it's something that you stop doing after time. You just get better at this stuff. You can do it for longer. You can do it better. You can do it with more weight. There's always ways of making progress that don't involve finding a new exercise or workout. And relax. I think I went over 30 seconds rambling. Great job, y'all. I hope you enjoyed today's workout with just a sampling of what it's like to do body part specific workouts. Tomorrow we're going to be doing another total body workout, and then on Friday, on the 5th day of the program, we're going to put it all together, take all of your skills you've learned to do a total body conditioning workout. And that workout is going to really challenge the fact that you learned these skills, and now we see what you're able to do when you're moving quickly and getting even more out of breath. I hope I'm in shape for that on Friday, but I'm sure you all will be because you are taking it one day at a time and following this at an appropriate pace. On that note, let's get a little stretching in and call it a day. Watch out for your kettlebell. I don't want anyone to kick it. We're going to lay on our back and pull our right leg into our chest. And breathe. Bring the right leg across to the left side of the body. All the way. Y'all should know what this looks like. I'm going to hit my mic pack if I do it. So I'm not going to take it fully, but look away from the leg to the right. And then roll back to the middle. Pull the left leg. Ooh, sorry, y'all. Pull the left leg into the chest. Bring it across to the right side of the body. And then bring the arms out to a T and look away from that left leg, towards the left side of the body. And breathe. And come back to the middle. We are going to roll over onto all fours. We're going to start by taking a few cat-cows, dropping the belly and looking up at the ceiling. And then arching the back and tucking the pelvis under and letting the head fall. Spread those shoulders apart as you press the hands into the floor. Drop the belly again and look up at the ceiling. Press the hands into the floor, spread the shoulder blades apart and tuck the pelvis under. And then come to a flat back. Take your left arm, reach it up to the ceiling, twist and open your chest, and thread the arm under, bringing the left shoulder and the side of the head to the floor. Walk your right arm out in front of you and relax here for a moment. Walk that right arm back in, press yourself up, and we'll take this on the left side as well. Right side as well, rather. Reach the right arm up, thread the arm under, and walk the hand out in front of you, and relax. Pull the arm back up, put the toes together, knees wide, sink the heels back, walk the hands out in front of you, and relax, and thank yourself for showing up and making it through day 3 of this program. I know it's a lot to do in 1 week, but I have made an effort to put it at an appropriate speed and tempo for you to accomplish in 1 week and not be too sore. That said, if you feel like this is moving a little quickly, or if you don't like following along with the video because you want to move at your own pace, please check out the free kettlebell guide I've created. It's linked below and it's at emmabfit.com. It is a great resource for going through these exercises at your own pace with really detailed tutorials, more detailed than we get into here. I spend 5, 10, 15 minutes sometimes showing you how to do things. Might seem like a lot, but it's a great resource if you truly want to learn how to do this stuff correctly. And you're able to get a much longer warm-up and cool-down video that you can use like a menu to select the things that are best for you. So on that note, I hope you have a super strong rest of your day and rest of your week. I will see you tomorrow for a total body workout. Stay strong.